all know this one. Let's hear you sing it. Hinei ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad.
Shabbat Shalom. So wonderful and great to be together, brothers and sisters, sitting together, bringing in Shabbat, this last Shabbat of 2023. So happy to share it with you and with Cantor Michaeli. And I hope that it's been a good year, and of course, especially, I hope it's been a good week. It remains a difficult time in many, many ways, but we can still find joy, especially in gathering together and praying together and singing together. So let's do that for one last Shabbat of 2023 and continue with song.
Let's sing together Yedid Nefesh on page 332. Yedid Nefesh, Yedid Nefesh, Av Harachaman, Meshoch Avdecha, El Retzonecha, Yarutz Avdecha, Kemo
Let's take a moment before we continue to just look around, make sure that you know the people standing around you, and offer greetings and Shabbat Shalom. Take a moment now before the lighting of the candles to offer a prayer. Our minds are still, of course, so much on the conflict that is ongoing in Gaza and in Israel. And so we offer a prayer for all of the people there. Avinu Shebashamayim, Tzur Yisrael V'Goalo. Divine Presence, we ask you to spread a canopy of peace over the land of Israel. As you have redeemed the captives of our past, guard the innocent children, women, and men held hostage and bring them home swiftly. Protect those who defend the land of Israel and guide those in power to pursue justice and peace. Protect and help all those in Gaza who are caught up in this terrible war and bring them safety as well. Shield every innocent life, Palestinians and Israelis, those of every faith, race, and nationality, so that they may live to build a brighter future. Heal all those who suffer from loss, pain, and fear, and help us all to mend our broken hearts. Adonai oz le'amo yitain, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. May God bless all people with strength and grant us the greatest gift of all, peace. Amen. To light up the candles for us, I asked Peter and Marlon Schnall to come to the bima, especially in honor of all the work that Peter has done over these last several years in help of the immigrant refugee family that we sponsored years and years ago from the Middle East, who just recently, all of them now have citizenship, and they just celebrated that. So I thought it was a good occasion to ask the two of them to come and do this honor. The blessing is on page, the reading on page 3, and the blessing is on page 2.
As these
Closer.
Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us.
As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadrei kner shel Shabbat. We begin with prayers, Psalms of Praise. Our Kabbalat Shabbat service begins on page 12. Let us come into God's presence with praise. Let us raise a shout for God in song. We sing together on page 16. Zamrud Adonai, Zamrud Adonai bechinor, Yai lai lai lai, Yai lai 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 lai. all sound great tonight. I hope you'll continue to join me in singing. We continue with Lecha Dodi on page 20, and as we reach the last verse, I invite you to rise as you're able and turn to face the doors as we welcome in Shabbat. Lecha Dodi, Ligrat Kala, Pene Shabbat, Nekavela. Lecha Dodi, Ligrat Kala, Pene Shabbat, Nekavela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmianu el hamiuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shemo tiferet ve'li tila. Lecha Dodi, Ligrat Kala, Pene Shabbat, Nekavela. Lecha Dodi, Ligrat Kala, Pene Shabbat, Nekavela. Verse 2. Ligrat Shabbat, Elchu v'nelcha, Ki hi mekor ha'beracha. Merosh mikadem nesucha, Sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tchila. Lecha Dodi, Pene Shabbat, Nekavela. Lecha Dodi, Ligrat Kala, Pene Shabbat, Nekavela. Verse 9, page 21. Bo'i v'shalom, ateret bala, Gam besimcha uv'tzola. Toch emunei am segula, Bo'i chala, Bo'i chala. Lecha Dodi, Ligrat Kala, Pene Shabbat, Nekavela. Lecha Dodi, Ligrat Kala, Pene Shabbat, Nekavela.
We remain standing and we turn to page 28 for the main part of our service, beginning with the call to prayer, Baruch Hu. Page 30, please join me in the Hebrew, if you are comfortable, this blessing that expresses gratitude for the separation of day and of night. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhmah poteach sharim, uvitvuna meshane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umesader et hakohavim b'mishmerotehem barakir kirtzono. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה. אדוני צבאות שמו. אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב ערבים.
On page 32, we come to Ahavat Olam, a prayer about a great, never-ending love. In this parasha and the stories of the past few weeks in the book of Genesis, we hear about Joseph's life, all of our forefathers and foremothers and ancestors' lives, and we hear about lots of different, tricky, complex, messy, beautiful versions of love. Love between siblings, partners, friends, and certainly many stories about love between parents and children. This week, much of our parsha is about blessing, which I know Rabbi Sachs will talk a bit more about later. Before Jacob, or as he's named more recently Israel, dies, he blesses each of his 12 children with a different blessing for each one of them. Though Israel's words are not all equally kind to his children, you can read that for more detail, they are certainly unique, and they reflect his special relationship with each one of them. He doesn't try to smooth it all over with one perfect blessing, but he focuses on their individuality, their personalities, their natures, their challenges, struggles, and hopes. Just like these children, each one of us is unique in our perspectives, our practice, our history, and so much more. Rather than seeing these differences and running in the opposite direction, we have to learn to see these differences in our community as blessings, ways to learn, to grow, to be challenged, and ultimately to be blessed. As we continue praying the words of the Shema, which talks about the oneness of God, which unites us all, let us also be grateful for the diversity that makes our community so beautiful. Each one of us is made B'Tselem Elohim in the image of God, and we are each deserving of love and blessing for being exactly who we are. Ki hem chayenu ve'orach yameinu, uvahem negei yomam v'layla, ve'achavatecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim, baruch ata Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Amen.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Please be seated. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. As we prepare for our Song of the Sea, the song the Israelites sang upon redemption, we read together on page 39. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before we ever stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
Baruch ata Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael.
Amen. On page 43, let's again read together this prayer, asking God for safety and for peace in the evening. Give us a place to rest, Adonai, our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, hapore sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
Page 44. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam berit olam. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam berit olam. Beini u'bein bnei Yisrael oti le'olam, oti le'olam, oti le'olam. V'shamru bnei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam berit olam. Ubayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, l'dorotam berit olam. Amidah begins on page 46. Please rise if you're able. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chastei Avot Ve'imachot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah, page 50. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayei Hakol, Atah Rav le'Hoshia, Mashiv HaRuach, Umorid HaGashem, Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed, Mechayei Hakol Verachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayim Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Gevurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memit Umechaye Umatmiach Yeshua Vene'eman Atal Hachayot Hakol Baruch Atah Adonai Mechaye Hakol. Page 52. Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh U'Kadoshim B'chol Yom Yehallelu Chasedah Baruch Atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. You may be seated. Let's continue together in English on top of page 55. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch Atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. Page 58. Modim Anachnu Lach. Let's take a moment either to read in Hebrew or English independently, or simply to think of something that you're grateful for in this moment, this prayer of gratitude. We'll come back together in just a moment and recite the Chatimah at the end of the prayer on the bottom of page 58. Let's come back together and recite that prayer. Baruch Atah Adonai, Hatov Shimcha Ulecha Na'el Lehodot. We continue with Shalom Rav, page 60, a much-needed prayer for peace.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki Atahu Melech Adon Lechol HaShalom. Ki Atahu Melech Adon Lechol HaShalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha טסים לעולם. שלום רב ישראל עמך, טסים לעולם.
וטוב בעיניך לברך את עמך ישראל בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך.
שלום רב ישראל עמך, טסים לעולם. שלום רב ישראל עמך, טסים לעולם. טסים לעולם. טסים לעולם.
We continue praying, davening the words of the Siddur, the words of our own hearts for a few moments. We'll come back together with another prayer of peace in just a bit. May the one who makes peace in the heavens descend on us, and the world will say Amen. May the one who makes peace in the heavens descend on us, and the world will say Amen. 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 Descend on us, and the world will say Amen. May the one who makes peace in the heavens descend on us, and the world will say Amen. Oh, say Shalom v'romav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Amen. Amen. Ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. May the one who makes peace in the heavens descend on us, and the world will say Amen.
We turn now to prayers for healing. We think of those among us, those in our families and our community who are struggling with illness, struggling emotionally and spiritually. And we offer this prayer both to bring them healing and to bring us ourselves to acts of help and support and healing. We can turn in our prayer book to page 253 for this prayer. Mi sheberach avotenu v'imotenu Abraham, Yitzhak v'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel v'Leah, hu yavarech et hacholim. May the one who blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebekah, Rachel, and Leah, Bless and heal those who are ill. We think especially this evening of those members of our community, Alon ben Barbara, Fuma Hana bat Hinda Yenta v'Yisrael Pavel, Margie Riesberg Goldstein, Moshe Yitzhak ben Sharni, Tamara bat Bracha Hillel, Marcy Friedman, Holly Gimbel, Danielle Glosser, Shelley Goldstein, Barbara Green, Jonathan Kales, David Laufman, Judith Laufman, Joseph Long, Michael Massey, Saul Miller, Ellen Morgenstern, Mindy Portnoy, Teresa Spiro, Don Weinberg, Marcia Weisberg, Benjamin Warchowski. We add to those names those who are injured and who are suffering in the conflict in Israel and in Gaza, those displaced and suffering from humanitarian disaster, and those in captivity and grieving. And we add, of course, also those whom you would like to bring to this moment. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and of spirit. We say together, Amen, and we join in song. Mi sheberach imotenu mekor habracha Lavotenu, bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Now, as we turn to a few words of Torah, we also turn to the age-old tradition in Judaism and Jewish commentary of machloket, of controversy. I get to disagree with Cantor Michaelin. Not really disagree. She talked about Jacob's utterances to his 12 sons as blessings. And they are indeed, she is correct, they are indeed called blessings in our tradition. But I think she would agree with me that it's a very charitable description of these utterances. Jacob has come to the end of his life, and really what he says to his 12 sons can't really qualify as a blessing. He's describing them sometimes in harsh terms, and he's predicting. He's really more of a prediction. The way this passage begins, it says, Jacob cried, Vayikra Yaakov, Jacob cried out to his sons, come together, that I may tell you what is to befall you in the days to come. Does that sound like a blessing to you? More like judgmental observations and predictions. So, the rabbis of the commentary ask the question, why? It's very disturbing to them that Jacob wouldn't bless his children. Every generation in Genesis, of course, ends with an old, dying father blessing his sons. Why doesn't Jacob do this? So I'd like to explore just a few answers with you. One answer might be based on what we know of Jacob and of his state of mind at the end of his life. He just recently, in the last Torah portion, met Pharaoh, and the first thing out of his mouth speaking to Pharaoh was a complaint. that his life hadn't been as good as his forefathers' lives. And even though he was, I think, 130 years old, he didn't live as long either as his forefathers. Perhaps this is just where Jacob is at in his life. He's tired and he's bitter and he just doesn't have any blessing left in him. A second answer is offered us by the traditional commentary from the 19th century. And it says that Jacob is not only tired and bitter, but he is distressed. He wants very much. He feels the obligation and he wants to bless his sons, but he's not sure a blessing is warranted, given how horribly they acted in selling their brother Joseph into slavery. And so when he cries out, Vayikra, at the beginning of this passage, he is actually, according to this interpretation, crying out to God. Please, God, put words in my mouth that I may bless these sons. And these are the words that come out of him. And a third answer actually puts in Jacob's heart and mind a message that he is trying to teach his sons and also trying to teach us down the generations. It's a message that I learned from our founding rabbi, Rabbi Laszlo Berkowitz, whose yahrzeit was just a couple of weeks ago. And maybe some of you remember learning this lesson from him as well. It's a message that resonates in modern Jewry, I feel, and especially in Reform Judaism, for many of us who don't believe that when we utter a blessing, it's meant to be so that blessing will come true, or that when we say a prayer, it's in hopes that some outer source, some divine source will make that prayer come true. There is something different going on in prayer. And Rabbi Berkowitz's message for us is that Jacob is showing us that we shouldn't wait for blessing. You shouldn't wait for someone other than you to offer you a blessing and to help you to succeed and to go forth and bring good things to the world. We have to be our own blessing, and we have to find and seek our own blessing. Our destinies are ours to determine, to go out and pursue through our actions in life. This is certainly something that Rabbi Berkowitz did for himself and for his community. This modern interpretation of blessing is further complemented by the other blessing that Jacob gives in this portion. It's one to his grandsons, Joseph's sons, Ephraim and Manasseh. Like the blessing he gives to his own sons, this blessing is unique, but not in its content. It's more like the blessings Jacob and his brother Esau and their father Isaac received, promising good things to come in life. For example, he says to Ephraim and Manasseh, "May your offspring be teeming multitudes on the earth." But what is unique about this blessing is that Ephraim and Manasseh receive the blessing together, standing next to each other, side by side. In previous generations, every child was on their own, and blessings were received in competition. Perhaps this is a lesson Jacob learned from his experience in competing with Esau, deceiving, resenting, plotting against each other. That we should seek blessing together, and that our blessings are best shared. In a further affirmation of this message, Jacob says that all Jewish people will forever invoke this blessing, as we do today for our children each week on Shabbat, saying, "May God make you like Ephraim and Manasseh." And modern interpretation, "May God make you for girls like Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, and Leah." This week, as we prepare to bring in a secular new year, and as we are in the midst of difficult times as a Jewish people, let's take an opportunity to offer a shared blessing as a congregation. We do this by invoking our people's first biblical blessing to Abraham, the one that begins Sarah's and his new journey of beginning. As they faced challenges and unknowns, leaving their home and setting out on a new path, so do we. Each of us has changes in store this year, hopes, goals, perhaps concerns. We offer each other strength and help for those things in the secular new year. Most definitely, as a Jewish community at this time, we face common challenges for which there are no easy solutions. We need the shared blessing of knowing that we are together and we are here for each other. Abraham and Sarah were great examples of living out the blessings of love, courage, the flourishing of family, community, and nation, and also of inclusion and harmony between faiths and nations. So calling on their story from the book of Genesis, which we finished this Shabbat, we commit ourselves to those things today. Finally, just as Abraham, Jacob, and his children were charged with not just seeking, but being a blessing, embodying the help, generosity, and peace we hope to share in our years to come, we resolve to do that this year in 2024 as well. So we will invoke Abraham and Sarah's blessing by singing together Lechi Lach, those words from the beginning of Genesis, which you can find on page 341. I do hope that you'll join us in this congregational blessing. Page 341. To a land that I will show you. Lech lecha, to a place you do not know. Lechi lach, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi lach. Lechi lach. And I shall make your name great. Lech lecha. And all shall praise your name. Lechi lach, to the place that I will show you. Lesimchat chayim, lesimchat chayim, lesimchat chayim, lechi lach. And you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi lach.
Please rise if you're able. We continue on page 282 with Aleinu. Adeinu shabeach la'adon hakol, latet gedula yotzer breshit, shehu noteh shamayim ve'yosed aretz, umoshav ikaro bashamayim imha'al, ushchinat uzo begofhei merobim, hu Eloheinu einod, va'anachnu kore'im, umishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech, malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol ha'aretz, bayom hahu, bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo, u'shemo, u'shemo echad. You may be seated. Let's take a few moments for personal prayer and reflection as we remember those who have been blessings in our lives, who are no longer with us physically, but who are always with us in our hearts. We'll come back together soon to share their names and recite Kaddish Yatom. Feel free to meditate with your own thoughts or to read some of our English readings on pages 288 and onwards. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who have died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. I'll share our synagogue yahrzeit list, as well as our list of those in Shloshim. And then if you have a name to add, I'll invite you to do so. Or if I've mispronounced a name, we'd love to hear the correct pronunciation. And as I share the names, if you hear the name of a loved one, we welcome you to rise if you're comfortable doing so. On our list for Shloshim, we remember Cecil Harness, brother of Anne Ganton, Nora Laufman, mother of David Laufman, Harold Gelfond, father of David Gelfond, Mark Abramovich, brother of John Abramovich, Kathleen Kussel, mother of Ken Kussel, Joseph Chachkin, father of Jacob Chachkin, and Joseph Appel, father of Heidi Appel. I continue with our yahrzeit list. Oscar Albert, Merton Allen, Helene Backman, Horace Banker, Rose Barry, Jean Bernstein, Joel Botwick, Diane Brower, Morris Brookstein, Benjamin Budenstein, Rose Cohen, Betty Drake, Barnett Dubois, Tilly Flappin, Benjamin Freed, Pauline Galley, Patricia Geis, Edith Gerson, David Gervis, Eleanor Golding, Mayor Gottsman, Lillian Greenberg, Todd Guberman, Shirley Haas-Levin, Arthur Haddon, Riker Hamilton, Ethel Herman, Rachel Campius, Julius Katz, Carol Keel, Abe Kleinberg, Celine Krashen, Fred Kriegstein, Howard Kruger, Josephine Kugel, Howard Lample, Joanne Langhouse, Gerhard Lehman, Natalia Leons, Joan Levi, Gary Lewis, Hannah Liebman, Alter Milberg, Jean Miller, Mary Pearson, Herschel Pessner, Aaron Pinkert, Howard Pomerantz, Jean Pope, Beatrice Prince, Fred Piat, Paul Rogers, George Rogers Jr., Henry Salkind, Yvonne Schwartz, Robert Schwartzman, Larry Seidel, Leonard Seltzer, Edward Schaefer, Adele Shapiro, Anne Shapiro, Steve Silberberg, Ida Silverstein, Gregory Skarupa, Louise Springer, Andy Weinberg, Malvina Weinberg, Rose Weitzman, Emma Winter, Sylvia Zeidner, Ida Zeitlin. Again, if you have a name to add, if you're in the period of Shana, the first year of mourning, or you're thinking of someone tonight, or you'd like to correct a pronunciation, I'll invite you to do so as I make my way around the sanctuary. Is there anyone I missed? I invite you to rise if you're able in support of our mourners. We recite Kaddish Yatom on page 294. Yitgadal v'yitkadash me rabbah, be'alma divra cherutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayachon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol Beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehe shmei rabba mivarach le'alam u'almei maya. V'yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei dekudsha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran belma v'imru amen. Yehe shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. You may be seated. We're so grateful to have with us this evening Amy Beckman, past board president, and I'll invite her up for some announcements now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
I'm so delighted on behalf of the TRS board to welcome all of you to tonight's services, and I thank our clergy for leading us in such a warm and loving Shabbat service tonight. And it's just great to be together, whether you're here in person or joining us via streaming. If you're new to Temple Road of Shalom, it would be a joy to welcome you properly and tell you more about our wonderful community. So please feel free to approach one of our clergy or me to say hello during the Oneg Shabbat reception after the service. Please see the back of our program for selection of upcoming programs. Details about our temple office closures and Tikva, a journey of hope and healing to Israel, are there. In our entire program, calendar and details can be found in the latest edition of The Connection and on our website. There is a QR code on the program that will take you directly to some of those program information. And we hope to see you all again soon, and Shabbat Shalom.
We continue with Kiddush. We're on page 5, and I invite you to rise if you're able. There you go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafem. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho le'ahava u'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron le'maaseh v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh zecher tziat Mitzrayim kivanu acharta ve'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kodshecha ve'ahava u'ratzon hinchatanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat. Amen. L'chaim. We continue with our final song, Olam Chesed. You can find the words on your program. If we build this world of love, then surely God will do so. Let's sing together. Olam chesed yibaneh, yadai ladai, yadai ladai. Olam chesed yibaneh, yadai. Olam chesed yibaneh build this world from love. I will build this world from love. Yadadai, dai, yadadai, dai. And you must build this world from love. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. And if we build this world from love, yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai, then God will build this world of love. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. Olam chesed. Olam chesed yibanei. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai, dai. Olam chesed yibanei. Yadadai, dai, dai, yadadai.
May we all go forth into a coming new year of love, of health, of strength, and most of all, of shalom, of peace. Amen. Shabbat shalom.